When you are creating a product, there are many core elements from design to execution. Why you are creating a product, what it stands for, what experience does it bring, and what it delivers. Founded in Belfast, there was a similar approach taken for the brand Nomadic, where its founder Peter, being a lifelong adventurer and having studied engineering and business, wanted to create a precision tool that could keep up with adventures but was good looking enough to wear to the office. A timepiece that captures the spirit of adventure yet links to Belfast, and that's how the brand name came from, Nomadic. A name that pays homage to SS Nomadic ship that has not just had an adventurous life but was also involved in World War I and World War II. If you've heard the name Titanic, that ship was also built in the same city of Belfast. And while Titanic does not exist in the flesh now, the SS Nomadic ship itself still stands proudly in Belfast, showcasing the rich history, legacy and heritage, and the association of shipbuilding industry in Belfast to these icons. There's another character of shipyards in Belfast that they are famous for, the massive yellow cranes. And to pay a small homage to that, the seconds hand you see in the Nomadic watches is all colored in yellow too. And interestingly, as much as it's a nod to the yellow cranes at Belfast shipyards, the yellow color on the seconds hand also adds a nice contrast and vibrance to the overall execution of the watch. In this video, we are looking at Nomadic Crimson Dawn Maraí 401 Pro dive watch. The name obviously comes from the bezel color, which has a nice and rich crimson color to it, on top of a black dial, gilt round hour indices, gilt hour and minute hand, and then that yellow seconds hand to complement the looks, adding to the funness yet legibility of the dial for time reading. When you look at Maraí the first time, you naturally feel like it's a watch that has taken the design cues from Tudor, Black Bay or Rolex Submariner, and that's probably not quite untrue. As a matter of fact, every watch or basically product design we see mostly has taken a design inspiration from something else. For example, the Royal Oak took the design idea from diver's helmet, having exposed screws. The Nautilus from Patek took the inspiration from ship porthole, and then we have watches in the today's world taking inspiration from these two watches resultantly. There are design elements on the Nomadic Crimson Dawn Maraí that makes it a watch with its own characters. For instance, the dial hands are unique to it, and there's neither a Mercedes hour hand here nor a snowflake one. And the looks then change the way the watch presents itself completely. Another interesting character is the steel ring around the crystal and on the inside of the bezel, and that's something I don't think I've seen before. The dial hands and the hour markers are filled with green superluminova, and in the absence of the light, we have a wonderful lume that's not just fully functional, charges easily and is bright, but is also beautiful to look at. Another interesting design attribute is that the case is all brushed on the top side and also on the case sides. This is different from the Black Bay and the Submariner, where the case sides are all polished. Here in Maraí, the case then further comes with very elegant polished bevels on the edges of the lugs, which add to the looks and experience. The bezel is ceramic, so there's nothing to worry about hitting, banging, dinging or denting your bezel from the hits or bangs. The dial comes with matte finish, and even under close inspection, you can notice the consistency in the finish of the dial, which is impressive to say the least. The text is crisp and the overall workmanship for the price is indeed very good. looking closely at the hour indices, the surface finish and the quality is impressive and probably far better than what you would expect and I've seen in the watches at this price point before. So here, you're not just getting applied indices, but the ones that offer a very refined experience for the price it carries. To keep the costs low, the watch is powered by Sellita SW200 movement, which is a self-winding movement, meaning that the watch is powered by your wrist movement when you're wearing it. And since it has 41 hours of power reserve, if you wear it daily, your watch will likely not die on you. I also timed the watch to check the accuracy, and this particular piece in the video gained about 12 seconds in full 24 hours, which although is not incredible, it is not indeed bad for the price that this watch carries. Probably one more critique is that while the lume in the dial is beautiful, bright and impressive, there is no lume circle on the seconds hand, which I typically find a bit limiting and underwhelming, as I do like to see the seconds hand sweep in the dark, and then the watch can also still be used to time seconds even in the dark. On the wrist, the watch wears beautifully and fills the wrist very elegantly. Measured at the bezel, the watch is 40.8mm in size, so while it is marketed as 40 mils watch, I would personally call it a 41 mils watch. The dial is 28.8 mils, so it's very proportionate and looks smaller than a 41mm size watch would suggest. The lug-to-lug height of the watch is 49.2mm, so it is relatively a tall watch. For reference, the Rolex Submariner's lug-to-lug is 47.5 mils. My wrist size is 6.5 inches and the wristband is 55 mils, so the watch sits in the center of my wrist. The case thickness here is only 11.6mm, so it is a relatively thin case for a dive watch. The watch further comes with a very elegant 20mm bracelet that tapers down to only 16mm, adding to the dressiness and the looks. The bracelet is another best part of the watch, and it follows the same design and profile as Rolex's Oyster bracelet, and I personally absolutely love it. The watch comes with double button release clasp, and while there are micro adjustments, there is no easy link or extension system in the clasp. But then again, for the price of the watch, you really can't complain. Nomadic Crimson Dawn Maraí 401 Pro is indeed a new release from a relatively new brand, offering a dive watch experience to embrace and capture the spirits of adventure, diving and the nautical life, but in a flesh, finish and form where you can wear and enjoy it every day, even to your formal occasions. It is not the cheapest diving watch on the market, but for the experience and pleasure it offers on the wrist, it may possibly be the cheapest with no real competition. You could argue to say that it looks like a Tudor Black Bay or a Rolex Submariner, but while it does carry its own characters, it also does offer a refined experience on the wrist. Or put it this way, if what defines the worthiness of a watch is how it brings you the smile for when you look at it, the Crimson Dawn Maraí indeed delivers that very well.